Welcome to Raj Online Trainings. Myself Raj, and in this video we are going to start up with the new tutorial series, that is C language. And this C language is very important as a beginner, and when you want to learn other programming languages like C++, Java, .NET, this will become the basic programming language. And in this course I am going to provide the notes and the source codes of this complete codes. I'll be sharing all those details in our description. And the contents what we are going to discuss in this C language tutorial is, we are going to start off with computer fundamentals. These computer fundamentals are very important when you want to learn any programming language like C language or Python or Java or .NET or C++, whatever the language it may be. These computer fundamentals are mandatory, where you will be understanding the computer fundamentals like the meaning of keyboards, that is standard input output devices like keyboard, monitor, and what is the meaning of memory, what are the different types of languages we are having like low level languages, high level languages, the meaning of translators like compilers, interpreters. All those things we are going to discuss in this computer fundamentals. Then next we start off with this C language introduction. Who has developed this C language? In which year C language has been developed? That we are going to discuss in this C language introduction. Then we are going to see history of C language. Here we will be understanding about the evaluation of C language, from where C language has come to us. And C language, even we call it as middle level language. The main reason because by using C language we can develop system softwares as well as application softwares. When you want to develop system softwares, we are going to make use of low level languages. When you want to develop application softwares, we are going to make use of high level languages like Java or Python, .NET we are going to use. Whereas by using C language we can develop system softwares as well as application softwares. That is the reason we call C as a middle level language. The next one, once we understand about the C language introduction and the history of C language, we are going to understand the basic terminology of programming like the meaning of comments and keywords. When you are writing a program, we need to elaborate about our program in our own words. That we call it as a documentation. This documentation we are going to do by using comments. And the next important term is keywords. When you go with any programming language, there will be some predefined words which are understood by the language, programming language. Those words we call it as keywords. Then we are going to see about variables and data types. The meaning of variable is like when you want to hold some data, like example, if you want to store something like student name, employee salary, customer address, we require some memory space. The name what we give to the memory space to hold the data, that we call it as variable. And the meaning of data type is like once we allocate memory space for variable, what type of data you want to store in that allocated memory space. Like example, when you go with integer, we go with what? When you go with like example age, in age we store a value like 20, 30 like that, then we call it as integer data type. When you take height, we store a value like 5.9, 6.2 like that. A value with a decimal point, we call it as float. The type of data what variable holds, that is called as data type. Then the next important one, standard input and output functions. The use of this standard input and output functions is like when you want to display some message onto the screen or the console screen, we are going to make use of standard output function like printf. When you want to read some data from keyboard from the user, that we can manage by using standard input function, that is scanf. Then next we go with operators. Operators are very important when you want to start working with our programming, like we are having arithmetic operators, relational operators, then we are having conditional operator, increment and decrement operator, logical operators like that, which we discuss more when we come to the respective topic. Then next important one is decision control structure. This decision control structure, case control structure, loop control structure, these three topics are very important for us when you want to improve our programming and logical skills. When you go with this decision control structure, we are going to learn about if statement, or you can even say if else statement. The next one, case control structure. Here we are going to learn about switch statement. This switch statement is mainly for menu driven applications. The meaning of menu driven applications are like when you go to a bank ATM, we will be having some set of options like withdraw, pin change, mini statement. Out of that options, we can choose only one option. So for menu driven applications, we are going to make use of switch statement. The next one, loop control structure. Here, whenever you want to execute the set of statements repeatedly, we have to make use of this loop control structure like while loop, do while loop and for loop. Along with this, we are going to learn three important keywords like break keyword, continue keyword and go to keyword. Once we complete this basics part, the next part is arrays. When you take a variable, we can store only one value. In order to store multiple values, then we are going to make use of arrays. Arrays are used to collect the elements of similar data type. The next one is functions. The main use of functions is to reduce the complexity of our application to make our code reusable. Once you create a function, I can use that function in some other programs also. To make our code more reusable, we are going to learn about functions. Here we are going to learn user defined functions, like how to create our own functions and how to make our function to be used in other programs. The next and very important, that is storage classes. This storage classes concept is very important when you are attending an interview or when you are writing an exam. Then next we will be understanding about strings. The meaning of strings are like whenever you want to collect some characters, collection of alphabets, that we call it as strings. And we will be learning the string manipulation functions like string copy, string length, string compare, string concatenation, all those important string related functions also we are going to learn in this strings topic. Then the next one, we are having structures and unions. When you go with arrays, we can collect the elements of similar data type only. When you want to collect elements of different data type, like example, you want to collect something like employee details, where we go with employee number, employee name, employee salary. When you take employee number, it's of type integer. When you take employee name, it's of type string, collection of characters. When you go with salary, it's of type float. When you want to collect data of different data type, then we are going to make use of structures and unions. The next important topic is files. Files are very important. When you are writing the program, the data what we are going to use in the program during runtime, it is temporary data. In order to store the data permanently in our hard disk, we can store data permanently in hard disk in the form of data files. To create the data files, to write data into the data files, to open existing files, to read data from the data files, we are going to make use of this files concept. Very important one. Then the next and very important topic, that is preprocessors in C language. Here we are going to learn about macros, file inclusions and conditional compilation. When you create a file, the functions what are present in one file, we can create one header file and I can make it like a library so that we can use that header file in some other programs. That is the main use of going with this file inclusions. And one more very important, this is a value added to our C language tutorial, that is data structures. These data structures are very important when you want to attend an interview, mainly product based companies. And in our course, we are going to learn data structures like stacks, queues, linked list, trees and searching and sorting. We are going to learn the sorting techniques like bubble sort, quick sort. Then we'll be learning about selection sort. All those sorting and searching techniques we are going to learn. These all topics are very, very important, and these all topics I'm going to cover in depth with a lot of example programs we are going to discuss. Lot of examples I'll be showing. Practically I'll be showing every program practically, and those all programs whatever I'm discussing, you need to practice on your system also. And during this course I'll be even showing you how to install C language compiler and how to write the source codes, how to compile and how to run our source codes. Everything I'm going to show you practically. So this is very, very beneficial course to you when you want to learn any new programming language, and this is the first programming language which you can learn. Right? These are the topics we'll be discussing. I'm just recapping, like computer fundamentals, C language introduction, history, then the basic concepts like comments, keywords, variables, data types, standard input output function, operators, if statement, switch statement, loops like while loop, do while loop, for loop, arrays, functions, storage classes, strings, structures and unions, files, preprocessors in C, and we are going to see data structures like stacks, queues, linked list, trees, searching and sorting. So in the next video, I'm going to start off with our first topic, that is computer fundamentals. Please subscribe, like and share. Thank you.